Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the finale of the Autism Awareness Month series. And today, we're joined with some awesome people that have taken part in this series, and it's going to be great because there's so many people. Kind of lost count how many's here, so I'm really happy that the amount of people has turned up today. And how we're going to start things off is each of our guests today are going to be doing a little introductions, and then after we do those introductions, we're going to have a nice discussion about autism. So I'm going to start with Morgan. And Morgan, if you want to tell everyone who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So wonderful to meet you guys. Yeah, my name is Morgan, and I'm in the U.S. in Texas, in the Austin area to be exact. And I'm a graphic designer. I've been designing it for about 10 years now. And then I guess on the personal side, I have a twin brother. We're about 5 minutes apart. And I think that's really just about me.
Yeah.
And I create, all the wonderful graphics for Mason here. I did, done some logo work, graphic work. So.
Yeah, you did most of the work for the autism. So it's down to you, isn't it, Morgan? You did lots of great work with your designs.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. It's really fun to collaborate with each other and work on the graphics. And so I definitely enjoy it all.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Morgan. I'll come back to you in a little bit because I know you got you're staying for halfway through. So just let me know, and I'll speak to you before the end.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, Folashade, if you want to just do a little introduction, say a little bit about who you are, if now's a good time.
Please skip me for now. I'll come next. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Emmy, you're next.
Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you. So my name is Emmy Flew. I'm from North Canton, Ohio. I am an artist. I'm a cartoonist, and I'm an animator, and I'm a blogger. I have a blog called The Autistic Animator's Desk. I created this blog since 2019, so it's been 3 years, and I was diagnosed with autism since I was 3 years old.
Yeah, you do some really good work as well with your designs, Emmy. Like we talked about you doing one for this episode actually. So it's actually looking pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when we did our episode, I mean, we talked about a lot about animation, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I suppose we're not the only ones here with animation as well, so it's really nice. So you got Disney Plus as well, you got all that on there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So well, for thanks, Emmy, I'll come back to you once all the introductions are done, and then we can all chat.
Okay.
There won't be a specific order. Well, thanks, Emmy.
You're welcome.
Folashade, is now a better time?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Folashade, and I live in Finland. I am mom to 2 girls, and one of them, my first, is autistic. It's just the one that's diagnosed with autism. Although the second one also has gone through a series of assessments for just for early detection. Last we were quite late with my first, but so far nothing yet suggests that she is. Well, I used to work as a caregiver with children for a really long time, but now I am, back to. Say hello. This is
hello.
Say hello.
Hello, Niels.
That's not Niels. She thinks this is someone she knows. I am now, doing some stuff to upgrade my certificate because I'm looking now into child protection services. So I am doing that right now. alongside other things like creating awareness for autism, especially within the African community, because there's so much stigmatization in that in our community, where a lot of people still don't understand what autism is. And so you really get to hear the most ridiculous things, when it comes to autism. So I have been actively creating awareness and educating people within the community. That's about it for me for now.
Yeah, well,
So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for joining, because I think it's really interesting that we got people around here all over the world. Like we got Finland, which it was really interesting when we spoke, because like you said over in Finland that there's no like labels like high function or low function, it's just autism, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Let me know when you have to go, and I'll speak to you again. But thank you for joining today. Thank you. Laura, you're next.
Hi, my name is Laura. I'm from the Netherlands. My voice is terrible because I got the flu, but I'm here anyway. I have autism and ADHD myself, my son as well, and I have 2 bonus kids and boyfriends who are all neurodivergent, so we never have a dull moment in the house. And well, that's one of the reasons I started to advocate, because there was like books, but that's about it in the Netherlands, and that was like almost 9 years ago, because I got late diagnosed when I was 35, and I'm 43 now, so almost 44. And not only raise awareness, but just be the support for others that are standing and with a new diagnosis and stuff like that. So they have like a buddy.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great, because I enjoyed like when we spoke, Laura, because I think it was last year we were speaking about doing it, and then we done it in the right time, didn't we? Like Autism Awareness Month, so we waited for a good time.
Indeed, it was like Autism Acceptance Month. It was like it meant to be to do it a little later.
Yeah.
It was COVID's fault. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I just got COVID and it took a long time. So, but it was nice to talk to you, because I was really looking forward to it, and I really had the most fun with you. I laughed so much.
Yeah, I think it was great. Like it's easier talking to person a one-to-one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we spoke about when we did that panel thing. It was quite a lot of people, more people than I think are here today.
Yeah, we're 21 or something like that.
Yeah, over 21 people. And even I was a bit nervous, and I was waiting so long as well. I did.
You have a good mask, because I was so nervous that I had like sweaty hands, and I was, is it my turn? Can I go now? I was almost lost. But there are a few faces that I recognize, and I know Will. So that's giving me a safe and familiar feeling, and all the stuffed the animals, the floaties he has. So that's familiar for me. So that gives me a safe feeling.
Yeah. Well, we all at least know someone here. If it's not me, it might be someone else. But yeah, thanks, Laura. And I think it's great that like it's been from like Holland and everything, because I think it's great that autism is raising awareness in different countries.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Well, thanks, Laura, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Vibesman, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to him in a minute if he's there. Ellie K, you are next.
Hello, my name's Ellie. I live in the UK. I was late diagnosed with autism when I was 23 or 24. I can't actually remember now, but it was during lockdown, so I had my diagnosis over Zoom, which was strange. And I work now. I'm self-employed, and I'm a support worker for a lot of autistic adults, actually, adults with learning disabilities, any kind of disability, anything that affects their employment. I support people doing that. I don't have a sort of advocacy account, but I do post a lot about my personal experiences on my Instagram, because I've got ADHD as well as autism, and it, as you probably all know, once you realize you're autistic or something, it seems like everybody else around you is as well. So I share a lot of my personal experiences on there and talk to a lot of people on there about it.
Yeah, I think it's good because you was actually one of the first people I spoke to of the month, so it was pretty cool. Like our conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time on that first one. I was nervous to listen back just because I didn't want to listen to my own voice, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like sometimes I have to listen to my own voice, but I try not to.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have to edit something, I won't listen to it. Let everyone else listen to it who wants to listen to it. But yeah, I think most people are like that, aren't they? Like it's hard to listen to.
I like to hear my own voice either.
Yeah, it sounds different to how it sounds in your own head, and that's just weird.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's nice when people, other like your friends or family, like have a listen, and they say, "Oh look, it's you, it's your voice. Have a listen," and then you're like, "No, I can't do that." Yeah,
it does feel pretty weird hearing your own voice. When I Mason, when I watched the podcast that we did back in March, that was so weird hearing my voice. And even though that was my first time joining on the podcast, but it was so weird hearing myself talking. It was just like, okay. Okay, but it was fun. It was really fun. And I sent the link to my family so they can watch it too, and they were very proud.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm always telling my mum to watch it, but because there's so many, you can't keep up.
Yeah, that's true. I've got a lot, which I think is good, but yeah, it's
yeah.
like where to start.
Yeah.
It just takes bravery, and then you finally made it. Like you did it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it is hard work, isn't it? Like doing a podcast, isn't it? Like not for me, I mean like for you guys, like if it's your first podcast as well, because like you wouldn't have known, well, I don't know, some of you might know who I am. I don't know. But I would have thought most of you might not have known who I am, so it's nice to have you all there and you share your experiences, because you don't get asked to share your experiences all the time, I think. But well, thanks Emmy, and thanks Ellie K. I got to remember because there's two Ellies, but now we're gonna go on to Ellie S. So if you want to say a little bit about yourself, Ellie.
Yeah, hi everyone, it's nice to meet you all. My name is also Ellie S, Ellie Stores. I'm also from the UK. I live in Sunderland. I'm an autistic content creator. I make videos about autism on TikTok. I'm 18. I think I might be the youngest here actually. And yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, because you do some really good awareness like on TikTok, because you do like you educate other people, don't you, about autism?
Yeah, I was diagnosed when I was 9, which is considered quite early for a girl. Most of my friends that are autistic that are girls were diagnosed when they were like 15, 16, and I was 9, and that's partly sort of down to my skin. I'm aware of that. I did a whole thing at my college, because we couldn't come in for the actual day because April 2nd landed on a Saturday and I wasn't going to be in college on a Saturday. So I thought, why not do it at the start of Autism Awareness Month? And I had people come in wearing something red, and then we made infinity symbol cupcakes, and it was great. Yeah,
it is nice. Like I think TikTok is it's a good use of tool for just because I think it's noticeable when you do shorter videos, but as well, because if you do, I just saw if you do shorter videos, it does have a more reach. It's really weird, I think algorithm, like the thing on TikTok, because sometimes I will put a video on and you won't get as much as like people seeing it, and then another one you do, loads of people see it.
Yeah, I think it's insane because when you're making a speaking video on TikTok, they only give you 3 minutes, and it's amazing what 3 minute short speaking videos can actually do for people. And I've had a lot of very nice messages of people saying that I've like helped them out, and I just think that's great that I have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And when it's coming from an actually autistic person as well, like, you know, who lives with it every day and understands it, I just think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's the way to be, isn't it? Like people who actually are autistic are working in that area than people who are not, because if we work in that area, we tell them what to do, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And some people may think they know what they're doing if they're not autistic, but we're the bosses, aren't we?
Yeah, like you're not really gonna understand autism better than an actually autistic person. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's as I say it, because yeah, I was diagnosed 9 as well. But I know anything about like girls and everything, and I think it's great that what you do, Ellie, because it's great, like because I don't know if I could speak about my autism on TikTok, even though I do it on a podcast. It's quite funny because I don't have an actual autism account on TikTok, so but I think yours is great, and that's why you're here and do some awesome work. But yeah, we'll come back to you. Well, both Eddies, we will. And next, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I was diagnosed autistic a couple of years ago, so quite late. I think I was 28 or 29. I'm 31 now, and that was after suffering from a lot of mental health issues for a long time. And receiving my diagnosis actually changed my life for the better. And I was given lots of answers, and I found lots of answers to unanswered questions that I'd had my whole life. So it was a positive experience for me, and I love connecting with other autistic people and in the community and learning from each other. I think that's so important. So that's my little introduction.
Thank you for like joining, because I enjoyed like talking to you. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. Yeah,
it wasn't too long ago. So yeah, it was a nice talk. I think we talked about quite a lot about I think it was hobbies, I believe.
Yeah, hobbies, and we also talked about we talked a little bit more about the professionals being about what you were just saying about autistic people actually specializing in the areas such as autism, because they are the experts, and I think I believe that as well, and we're experts from experience. So I think that was my kind of message.
I enjoyed it because like it's something that needs to happen, I think, and like if we don't tell people how we're feeling and our autism, others will hopefully take our footsteps and talk about their autism experiences.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, thanks, Sarah. I'm really happy you're here.
Thank you.
And I'll speak to you soon.
Yes.
Evangelyn, hello.
Hi. Hi guys, my name is Evangelyn. I actually don't have a diagnosis because I found out when I was 19 through another person. And I found out when I was in college, and I had intentions to go to grad school, and I still do. So that's the priority right now, since in America, diagnoses cost like thousands of dollars. So that's not financially feasible for me right now. So hopefully in the future, after I finish my MBA program and get a job, hopefully that's something I'll be able to do. I graduated from City College of New York with a BA in English with a concentration in creative writing and a theater minor, summa cum laude, which I'm super proud of. Over the past year, I worked on a YA contemporary enemies to lovers romance called The Debut of Annika de la Fuente, about an autistic, bisexual, aspiring rapper who has to team up with her punk rock nemesis in order to win a battle of the bands to win a recording contract to tour, and also a tour with her favorite singer. And I'm so proud of it, and I hope one day it can be published, hopefully soon. And I don't have an autistic advocacy account specifically, but on my TikTok that I do have, I do autism advocacy work. For example, I do talk about my huge passionate stance against ABA because I believe it's a horrible thing that shouldn't happen anymore, just like gay conversion therapy. Like, they're both horrible. And I like to do my education in the form of storytelling, and more specifically through POV TikToks. I don't know if you've ever seen them, if you've ever seen like a girl putting herself into Harry Potter and dating Draco, or putting herself into Teen Wolf and dating whoever boy they want to on Teen Wolf. I do it with Diary of a Wimpy Kid with Roderick Heffley because I'm in love with him and he's my soulmate. So my character is always autistic whenever we like are in videos together. I made like 2 so far.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great. Like what you're doing, like as well on like and doing the stuff you want to do, because like as we've just talked about, hobbies are play a very big part, doesn't it, in autism, and you like writing as well, I think, as well, don't you? So I think even like when we did our episode, it was only a couple of days ago actually, so it wasn't long. So like you said about like having your own book as well, and I think you're writing at the moment, aren't you? Bits of it.
Editing. I need to
Editing.
edit everything so that it can be cohesive enough to query to agents and then eventually send off to publishers or editors.
Well, that well, you have to let me know, and then I'll have to read it.
I really want to read it. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. If you all follow me on social media, once it gets to a publisher, you'll all know.
Yeah. Well, to everyone, I will send you all the links to everyone. So you have to go. I can see in the chat everyone's put in everyone's names. I think it's great. So I will send you everyone's names after, or yeah, after. But what thank you for coming back today, and it's been. I'm glad you're here.
I'm really glad I'm here too.
Thank you. Next up we have Will. Oh yeah. Dr. Vibesman, you there?
I'm right here. Can everybody hear me?
I think your mic is a bit low. You might have to put your. Oh, okay.
I might have to. I think okay. It's one of these AirPods.
I can hear you now. It's better.
All right. It was one of that's the okay. So I think it's the left AirPod. Hi everybody. Of course I go by the name Dr. Vibesman. My real name is Chad, like the country in Africa. Yeah, I was on the podcast with Mason last month. Was it last month?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I've kept it really close. Autism was one of those things I've kept really close to the vest because a lot of times, you know, I fear like if I talk about it, people will try to use it against me or pretty much say, "Oh, you don't look like you have it." I've gotten that. I've gotten, "You don't look like you have it. It doesn't sound like you have it. We never realized it." And I've gotten all kinds of responses. So I really just try to mask it a lot. I'm still used to like masking stuff a lot. And then eventually when I do talk about it, when I do open up about it, you know, I'm just like, yeah, I've had this, like, you know, this has been my this has been a major part of my life since I was young, since I was like a child when I had speech delay and everything like that. Like this, it's been part of my life. And recently, I've came to a realization last year that I didn't really want to run from it anymore, and I wanted to like open up more about it, learn more about it. And when I found the support group on Clubhouse, and I got in contact with Folashade, Jen from Autism Awareness, and of course Mason, I began to open up more, and I finally found a group of people that actually understand me and could help me make sense of what was going on in my life. And I could do the same for them as well. There were certain experiences that were shared, certain things, certain parts about this, about autism that were shared that I instantly related to, that I instantly gravitated towards because, hey, I was experiencing the same thing too. So, you know, it feels good to be back. The podcast episode that I had with him was a bit emotional for me because it's not easy for me to talk about it, but you know, it feels good to be back here today.
Yeah, in fact, thank you for coming back, because I know it was an emotional episode. It was really nice speaking to you, because you're very passionate about like your dancing as well, aren't you? So
yeah,
that's one thing.
I didn't get to say to everybody, hey, I'm a dancer, I'm a b-boy. Well, pretty much I'm a dancer. I'm an avid hip hop head, and I host a show called QS TV. We just finished making. We have episodes, video episodes on YouTube. We also just finished making podcasts just the other day. So we have a couple episodes there too. You can follow me on Instagram at King Jamraka. Everything is in my link tree, in my bio.
Cool. Right. Well, thank you for returning. Coming back. I'll catch up with you soon.
Yes.
Because I think we're on to the last person now. Will.
Mm-hmm.
You right, man?
Ben Claire, yeah, I'm here. Man, it's bad enough doing it in front of one person. Never mind 20 others.
I know.
Yeah, howdy, folks. It's Will, also known as the Autie Biker. What is there What is there to tell about me? Not a lot, really. I live a quite a mundane existence working on railways. Biker, photographer, nerd, all sorts, stripy Pegasus, and that's about it, really. Nothing really to report.
No. I suppose when we did do our episode, we noticed that you was a secret Whovian, so.
Thanks for outing me on that one.
Yeah. I think we're not the only Doctor Who people like Doctor Who here. Evangelyn, I think you like Doctor Who as well, so we got some people who like Doctor Who here. I'm not sure who else does, but
the more the merrier.
Yeah, the more the merrier. But yeah, it's good to have you back, Will. Because
it's a pleasure to be back. I'll be honest about that. I've just been lurking in the shadows quietly while everyone else has been talking.
Yeah, I've seen you a bit lurking. Yeah, because like we also did an episode which is yet to come out. We talked about like men's mental health as well, didn't we?
Of course, yeah. That was I got a bit passionate about in that one, didn't I?
Yeah, because like not having to hide your emotions. I think it was about.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
Because completely right as well.
As well, it should be. Completely
right. Well, thanks, Will. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you again in a minute. But I'm sure. But thanks for coming back. Well, everyone, like that's all the introductions out of the way. Which we've got lots of people, so we've done them all really well. But what there is to talk about now is I think most people here it was your first podcast, so I think it's great. Like for the people that who do raise awareness, we all raise awareness. That's why we're here. But if we can just talk about what's your opinions? This is to anyone, you can say it. Like, what's your opinions of Autism Awareness Month as a whole? Do you think it should be a thing? Do you think we should just raise awareness anyway? Like, what's your thoughts? Evangelyn?
Yeah, sorry. Due to me being in a lot of Zoom meetings through my Filipino clubs, I know that there's a raise hand option, so I thought it would be a good idea. So I read somewhere that right now, to a lot of people, it's Autism Awareness Month, but it really should be Autism Acceptance Month, because if you're aware of it, you just like know it exists. But if you accept it, that means you're willing to understand like stuff about other people and willing to accept them for who they are. Because if you're aware of something, you could still see it as a bad thing. But like if you accept someone, then you see them as someone that's worthy of being loved and accepted.
Yeah, I agree. It should be accepted.
No, I can completely agree on that one as well, because it should be an acceptance really, rather than just awareness. Because we're here. We're not going away. It's not something we click and switch it off. We can't do that. It's more a case of accept it, because face facts, at one point in one's life, you're gonna meet an autistic person, and they're not gonna do they're not gonna be stereotypical, very quiet, very non-verbal, that sort of thing. I applied to go on something on the BBC recently called Inside the Autistic Mind. There was only 4 spots available, and apparently my story, as interesting as it may be, wasn't interesting enough for him. So that came to a bit of a crashing defeat. And then that's when I found these podcasts, and and to be fair, it's much easier to spread our story here rather than through any content that the BBC manufacture, because they'll trim out bits, they'll trim out this, trim out the other, and you just won't get the point across.
Yeah. Actually, speaking about that, Will, I did the same thing. I applied for that like last year, beginning of the year. And
yeah, it was last year I applied for it.
Yeah, it was last year, end of last year. And,
I applied for something as well. Was it the one with Chris Packham, or is that a different
yeah,
one?
that's it. Yeah, that's exactly the one. That's exactly the one.
That was it, because I put it on my story about it, and
yeah,
I wasn't at all happy. That getting the rejection from that was put me in quite a dark spot, I think.
Yeah.
But in my book, it's a case of it's not about sticking in that dark spot. What you got to do is you got to climb out and do something else, and that's what I did.
Their loss, isn't it?
Oh God, it is. It's their loss, definitely their loss. If they're looking for a stereotype, well, they're going to get them. They're going to get them either way. But where's the point in just showing a stereotype when you can show everything else, all the awesome bits?
Yeah, I think that doesn't sell for them. They want to get the stigma alive instead of breaking the stigma.
God, do they ever? I'm pretty sure they do. Pretty sure
they
do.
always look for certain types that they think put in the image of an autistic person or whatever they're looking for, and
they don't care about the diversity of it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't show it as it is.
Nope.
We should do like a thing on the BBC.
Yeah, we should.
I think what we should do. No, I'll go on, Ellie. I'll let you go first.
I was just going to say, I think on the application they did say they wanted older women to apply, especially. They wanted that. There was other criteria as well. They said everybody applied, but they said they wanted late it was really specific. One thing that stuck in my head.
Late diagnosis, wasn't it? I can go find the email now if you want.
And it said so I think they, definitely, I think they'll want whatever's most sensational or whatever is, they can think, right, we can make a good show about this. But I do think actually in that one they were looking for people who don't normally get on programs about autism and so on. But
I've never been on telly before anyways.
No, no, I can't say I have. Yeah, they said everybody applied, but they were looking to highlight certain stories, I think, but I don't know, who knows.
Well, I had no chance then, did I?
Well,
who'd care anyways? Well,
when it comes to the sorry to cut off, sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
When it comes to the topic of awareness versus acceptance, I am definitely I find myself more on the acceptance side, because truth be told, we have awareness months for so many things. We have awareness for so many other things in this world: cancer, breast cancer, HIV, AIDS. No, we're not. I'm not running comparisons between diseases and disorders. No. I'm saying that we have awareness months for a lot of things, but truth be told, there's not a lot of acceptance. Hell, being a black man in America is not even as widely accepted just because we're like the top needle movers in everything from product consumption to entertainment to sports and whatever. But at the same time, like, our existence is criminalized. And then being autistic being black and autistic also, it's also something that's stigmatized. We have too many stigmas for us not to be aware of the fact that autism exists in people. There's people, I don't remember what ABA is. I don't remember if that's like a I don't know the acronym for it, but I did see somebody the other day tweet out. There was an artist that tweeted out, "Hey, I figured out a herb for this thing. Let me see if I can figure out a herb that can reverse autism." And see, that's the problem. You have people still trying to treat it like it's this condition you can die from. No, autism is not something that changes. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that changes. It's something that you have. You basically, we just live you can lead a normal life. The only thing is you're gonna need a lot of support in certain areas. There are people that are nonverbal. There are people that have global like developmental delays. Like for instance, take the mom living with Lilac on Instagram. Her daughter Lilac, she has had developed her own words and own codes for certain things like soup or like certain foods and everything like that. And the mom showcases how she raises her daughter, how she and her daughters help to raise her and everything like that. You know what I mean? So pretty much I don't know if I'm giving good reasons for acceptance, but pretty much there are people in your life that you will come across that have autism or ADHD. They're on the spectrum of neurodivergency, and pretty much if you still have a lot of ignorance towards these very topics, you're gonna have problems interacting with the people in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So pretty much you have to learn people have to learn what autism is. And once they learn and understand, maybe it will be less stigmatized as we go along. Because still you have comedians that make jokes about people that are autistic. You have people regular that aren't comedians that still make jokes about people that are autistic or will use autism as the butt of their joke. You know what I'm saying? And that right there no longer never really sat well with me to begin with, but it really shouldn't sit well with anybody else to begin at all. Because yeah. So main point is just I'm all over the place with this because I don't know how to articulate this. I'm doing my best trying to articulate this, but autism, once people learn that it's not something you can treat, that it's just something you just adapt with, and you live with and everything, then pretty much the road to acceptance will be much smoother. It shouldn't be as bumpy as it is now. Once we start to change the language around certain things, including autism, then that's when true progression will actually take place. You know what I mean?
I think that's true. I think that because I support adults with anybody who's employed with a wide variety of issues, but a lot of them are autistic. And I sort of, when it's appropriate or when they ask me to, can go into workplaces and deliver sort of sessions or presentations or whatever about autism and about how it applies in this situation and so on. And there's so many situations where, you know, from my perspective in my job, employers think that by putting in an accommodation it's cured, you know, is often a word that's used, and it's like, oh, but I thought he was better with that now, you know, whatever the issue was. And we're always having to go in and tell people this isn't something that just goes, it's, you know, it's here, this is who that person is, this is how their brain works, this is what they need, that's forever. You know, you don't just like make it better for a few days and then done, you know.
I agree with that. I had a parent comment on my TikTok the other day saying that she cured her kid's autism with a certain type of medicine. I wasn't really bothered to I just ignore messages like that, but it kind of, you know, made me like, why does this grown woman think she's like rewired a child's brain with a spoonful of medicine? Like it's very bizarre. But yeah, autism, you know, it has nothing to do with your physical appearance. It's to do with how your brain is wired. And autism's a neurotype and you can't rewire someone's brain. It's just plain and simply how it works. And we don't really need a cure. Like why, like we just think differently and it's okay. It's fine. But the world Yeah, the world needs different, you know, if we were all the same, like it would be very boring. So,
Crazy.
and we've made a lot of great things, you know, there's been a lot of very intelligent and successful people with autism throughout history. So
I think they also have like the most trouble they have is that they always say, I have to adjust to you, but they forget that we have to adjust all day, every day, every hour, all the time. And it's not just a little bit, it's like a lot. And it's so annoying that people think, oh, you got autism, I read the article, now I know what you have.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, they forget all about it, what they read and what you told and what you asked. And I think that's why acceptance is so important. Like Dr. Vibesman said, it's not about the awareness, because everybody is aware that autism is something, but they don't know what it is, and they should accept it. And that's like the difference between acceptance and awareness.
yeah, and it's like we aren't going out of our way to try and find a cure for neurotypicals. So why are they trying to find a cure for us?
Yeah,
like very strange.
Yeah, I don't get that, because if you think about it, as I said in the chat there, I've always said I'm just hardwired differently. There's no need to go out and find a cure. Why? What's the point in finding a cure for someone who's just on a differentiating operating system? It doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
There's no need for
read
it.
the menu.
Yeah,
It's
and
just no, go ahead.
as for the acceptance thing and the awareness, I think like people know we're here, people are aware that we're here, but as for acceptance, sometimes people have a hard time accepting that some people just think differently. And obviously there's the stereotypes. Not everybody with autism is the stereotype that we see like in the media. So
yeah, I agree. Yes, I definitely agree with what everyone's saying. Sarah, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to echo what Ellie said, basically about people in the public eye, or for example, films and programs of typical people playing autistic people. And I think that's where some of the problems lie, because people watch these films and watch these programs that are played by actors who are typical, and it often comes across kind of the stereotypes, but also the negatives are more open on those programs than the whole
they accentuate the negatives rather than accentuate the positives.
Yeah, exactly.
As to steal the title from a Glenn Miller piece of music.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
What you got to do is just accentuate the positive.
I also agree with the autistic community that it should be autistic people playing autistic actors, because autistic actors do exist, and that's probably because,
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. With autism, we basically mask in our everyday lives. We put on a persona like in order to like function in a neurotypical world, and that's basically what acting is. It's masking. It's pretending to be someone you're not. So I could imagine
that's exactly it. And I think my point was going to be about kind of moving forward. I think in the future, I think there's the reason I jump is an example, and that's a very positive film and book, because it's directly from the mouth, the words of an autistic person, and I think that's very refreshing compared to some of the movies or the films that you know, like Ellie said, about autistic actors aren't as common as the typical.
Sorry, go on, Ellie.
I think acting will probably be the best thing that an autistic person can do, because it's what it would just come naturally to us, because it's what we do in our everyday lives anyway. So
what gets me the most is I've had to say to people, especially on track, because what you see is what you get with me. I'm the same IRL as I am online, on an Instagram, whatever. You don't meet a different person when it comes to real life. All I'm is just a bit more shy until I get used to someone. But I've had to stipulate countless times on track to people that I'm not Rain Man. Rain Man is a completely false representation of how autistic people are. I am me. I'm different, but I'm also the same as you. I'm a human being. So I don't get this whole, oh, such and such and such can't do such and such a thing because X, Y, and Z, whereas I can do all this stuff. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. I've got more knowledge in terms of railway specific, because I have a bit more knowledge and a bit more understanding of certain bits and bobs, but I've got a head full of questions for every shift because I want to learn more. I want to find out more. And I think that's the best bit. You've got to have that sort of head full of questions. I mean, obviously it's not railway specific for everyone, but you've got to have a head full of questions, and you slowly pick up cues and learn from people. But going back to the joke thing, I've had it where people have made jokes about it. Like, yeah, I've laughed it off because that's the nature of my industry. You know, you've got to just give it back to people. But you go home and you think, you know, you are just a you know what, you know are.
Yeah.
And you just think of it, it's like, where did you get your sense of humor?
I don't know if you guys have heard of Sia's movie, but I know that got like autistic. Yeah.
I hate it.
No, don't even get me started.
Wait, which movie is this?
It was called Music.
It was.
Yeah.
I've not watched it. I don't think I could watch it.
I don't
Yeah.
think I could. I've not watched it at all.
I
Yeah,
saw
that's-
the flyer with the woman with the ears, and she was looking like, I was thinking, this is no representation on the
This
flyer,
is-
so I'm not gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
insulting as well because it was clearly deliberately trying to be like an imitation of a certain type of person with certain type of needs, and it's like those needs.
Why?
That's not the same as autism. You can have high needs in lots of different ways and not be autistic, or you can be autistic and have high needs, or any combination. But a lot of the stuff, the physical stuff that the actress,
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, was
Maddie.
really
Maddie.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so you deliberately almost like.
You've deliberately
Yes.
polarized.
Yeah, you've done a caricature of somebody who's got
Not
a
autistic.
whole set of needs that may or may not also be autistic. And I just thought, it was very ignorant the way the whole thing was done.
So you got a big backlash off that as well.
Yeah,
You got a very big backlash off that.
Mm.
And it's not breaking stigmas, it's like containing
Creating
stigmas.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's kind
Just
of frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we feel like, people are starting to listen to us, a neurotypical person wants to come in and make an offensive movie, and then we're right back to like where we started.
Yeah,
which is
thanks
good.
for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like we finally got on. We're getting somewhere, and then one step forward, two steps back. Thanks for that, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, no, we've got to start it again then.
Again and again and again and again.
It just does more harm than good.
Yeah.
I think Sia actually got her information from Autism Speaks as well, which we already know is not a very good organization.
Do not mention that. Do not mention that name in my presence.
Nathan, you have to make a beep when
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
mentioned. Beep.
I think
It should be a slur, like just beep it out,
It should. No,
think- I
Autism
think-
Speaks. Yuck.
I think for these organisations, like there was one earlier this month. I think start of April. There's an organisation that was saying about autism was a disease and stuff, and and
How well did that go down?
I responded. I said it's not a disease. I didn't like. I think even like Autism Speaks.
You
Like,
didn't go full rant mode, but
No.
you
no, I think it's the best way to be. Even
go on, lad.
I think even like organisation like Autism Speak. Like I know for this month or like you have people saying that you can't use the colour blue. Like that they recommend you don't use the colour blue. And I think when people say that, I don't know if any of you agree, but it kind of makes you talking about Autism Speaks more, like involved more with them. If you say I don't use the colour blue, I want to use the colour red.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter what colour you use, really, does it?
I think that's why people don't use the colour blue, because it sort of comes from that organisation. And that's why red's kind of like the new colour, which is why I suggested everyone come in wearing something red. So
Yeah, I understand the meaning of it. Like,
Yeah, I
who
get
knows? Does anyone here like that have is blue their favourite colour? I don't know.
Yeah, blue
Yeah.
is my favourite colour,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Blue used to be my favorite color as a little kid.
But it's still
I
mine.
like navy
Light
blue.
blue, but I
Always-
just don't
always
like
been
the
mine.
beat.
Right, you lot are
I
out.
like
You're
black
not
and I
allowed
like
in
navy
anymore.
Dark
Yeah.
blue.
No,
I like black and I like navy blue.
yeah,
But-
that's
but what I'm trying to figure out is why is the I'm trying to understand why the puzzle piece is a problematic symbol.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just asking.
No,
So-
we're not about to.
I know why. Can I say why?
Go on, do it. Say it.
Okay, all right. So the puzzle piece is a problematic symbol because it implies that in autistic people there's a missing puzzle piece that stops them from making them human. And once they get that missing puzzle piece, they'll become a valid human being. And until then, they're not a valid or whole human being. So that's very offensive because autistic people are valid human beings and we don't have missing pieces. We just experience and think about life differently than other people. There's nothing wrong with us.
Truth.
It was also
Truth.
All right.
Yeah, it was also to
That makes
show
sense.
that
That's right.
yeah, it was also to show that we were like a hard puzzling condition. And
Rubbish.
yeah, before the puzzle pieces, it was like a picture of a crying autistic child. I think, yeah.
What, like Great Ormond Street Hospital use or something?
Yeah. Like tragedy.
Mhm.
It's not a tragedy. Our condition is far from a tragedy. Because
It's not a tragedy. It's just hey, look, this is how we're wired. It is what it is. I get sick and tired of I already felt like my whole life, like I've always questioned why am I wired this way?
Yeah.
Why am I not processing anything as fast as everybody? Why can't I learn as fast as everybody else? Why can't I understand things right away?
We just process information differently.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
With autism, you already feel like the odd one out anyway. So have a bunch of neurotypicals coming at you saying that you're a tragedy and a burden. It doesn't really make you feel that much better.
It doesn't help at all. Like I said, it's counterproductive.
It only reinforces like the stuff all the negative stuff that we already feel on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's all when people tell us things like
It just
you're a
makes it
burden,
worse.
tragedy, blah blah blah. Like it just makes it worse. It just reinforces that negative feeling that we already have.
Guys, I have a question, right? Have you ever had like you tell someone you're autistic and they immediately speak to you like you're a 5-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to tell someone to certain words off quicker than the last time someone did that to me. And someone else, one of my friends who was sat next to me, when I told them that, they immediately said to them, don't talk down to him like that, because if you do, it's not going to be him that you have to worry about. It's going to be me.
Yeah, it was like
for them to say that to them, I thought, good grief, what we got going on here? I didn't need to do this. And then next thing I was like, whoa, let's put the hammers down, let's calm down, take the tinfoil hat off, let's take it easy here.
It was like the other day when I went to the bank, I told the guy I was autistic and he sort of spoke to me as if I was like deaf because he was using a lot of hand gestures and I'm like, what are you doing?
You just start laughing.
Yeah, and he spoke slower as well. And I'm like, you don't need to speak slowly to me. Okay, I have an advanced vocabulary, like stop.
It's like, people talking about that. People, I didn't do at all well in maths and English at school. But the funny thing is, some of the stuff that I come out with on track, some of the words, people go like, what on earth? Have you just swallowed a dictionary or something?
Oh yeah, I think that's a thing for a lot of autistic people, maybe.
It's like a secret weapon.
Yeah, I know a lot of us struggled with education. I did. I left at 16, and but at the same, so it's that weird. You sort of end up with a weird mixture of traits where all of us seem to be quite swallowed a dictionary type thing, but at the same time, we struggled with education, and it's a weird mix.
My English teacher. Okay, sorry. I feel bad because I feel like I'm kind of interrupting you guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. My English teacher actually sat me down and was like, it's great you can use big words, Ellie, but you have to be able to spell them because my spelling is horrendous.
Oh, I feel that. I feel that.
I was like, that's a bit rude, but you're not really wrong, are you? So
no, fair enough. The best one for me was I passed English on remark, had to retake my maths, but everything else in science I got a B in additional, C in core. My other two subjects I got a B in were French and music. I can't read a sheet of music, but I can play.
I'm like
I
that,
can't
yeah.
speak a word of French.
I think it's hilarious because like a big thing with being autistic is like, you know, if you're very, very interested in something, you will excel, like special interests.
Oh God, yeah.
Period.
If it doesn't interest you, then we don't care.
My brain has two settings. It's like flicking a switch. I'm either utterly interested or nope, don't want to know.
Yeah, I am not the autism like great at math stereotype that we see like in media.
No.
Like, no.
I envy the people that are, but I am not. I'm not academic at all. I like working with my hands.
Yeah,
it's probably why I've got level 3s in engineering.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right at English, but sometimes like because I think this is like an autistic thing. Like I'm not like if I'm explaining something, I have to go into a lot of detail. And sometimes apparently in English I go into too much detail, but I always thought that the more detail you go into, the better. They're like, oh, that's great, but it has to actually be relevant to the topic. Because if I'm explaining a story, I'll be like, okay, so this girl had blue hair and she had like blonde hair, and like my mum's like, I don't care about any of that. I just want to know what you did today. I don't care, like, you know, what color the trees were or what color that girl's hair was, and I don't know.
I do like to learn. I'm back at college. I'm 43, but I went back to college to be an experience worker for autistics, ADHD, and burnout. And the thing is, I hated school, but when you're older and you have a topic, it gets your special interests. And then you want to know everything, and then you just eat it. I know everything about psychology and diseases and mental illnesses because I like it. Just I like brains, how they work and why people are the way they are. But
it's like I'm a people watcher. When I'm out and about, even if I'm out and about taking some snaps, I'll just sit and watch the world go by. I'll sit down having a sandwich or a pasty or something. I'll nipped into a bakery or something to get some lunch, and I'll just sit in Manchester Piccadilly Gardens or wherever, and I'll just sit and watch the world go by.
Yeah, I always think autistic people are quite easily entertained. Yeah, because we love the details. So a lot of things are quite fast. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh God, so and so was really boring. That was really boring." I'm like,
yeah, it's like
anyway. There's so much going on all the time to think about and look at. You know.
Yeah, it's like I was saying before. Someone asks you how your day is, they just expect you to give you a little rundown, but we'll give them like the full essay from start to finish.
Yep. Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah.
I
woke up, brushed my teeth.
Well, I did it on. Someone asked me how one specific shift was. I think it was up near Uliskelf. We were doing a rail drop, and I just went into a fair bit of detail about. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was on that shift. Someone was asking me how they did the rail drop, and so I explained about how the wagons carry the rail, and then they've got something off the end that dumps the rail into the middle of the running rails, and it went from there. And people are like, you shouldn't be on the railways, you should be in the planning department. And I'm just thinking, nope, I can't drive a desk.
Yeah, I want to be out there and actually do it. Yeah,
I prefer being boots on the ground.
Yeah, I'm quite like that. Yeah, I'm quite like that. I've always preferred jobs where I'm sort of moving around a lot and in different places and a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like local work. I do like traveling for some work. You know, I'll go to say the furthest I've been at the moment is North Yorkshire. But when all is said and done, I prefer working somewhere within Manchester. I prefer it. Because actually tonight I'm on Metrolink. We're doing something up Shore and Crompton way. I think we're taking a road rail access point out, but that's a different matter. That's something that could be saved for later.
Yeah.
Not to go off at a tangent though. How do we all comfort characters? How do we all fit in and all that?
When I was a kid, right, my comfort character was Belle from Beauty and the Beast, because, well, you know, like autism coded characters, right? I always thought Belle, because she always talks about how she feels like she's different from other people, and in you know, when at the start of the movie when she's walking through the village, everyone's kind of pointing and whispering about her, saying how she's strange, and I thought that kind of feels like me.
Honestly, I can relate to that, because I get that as well. Comfort characters for me, if I can find very quickly. This one will do. All know who that is, or you should all know who that is.
Is that Rainbow Dash? I know
Yep.
she's yeah.
Is she gay?
No,
A lot of
but
people do think
no,
she's gay. I saw
people-
that on TikTok.
yeah, it's a big it's a big theory in the fandom, but no, Dash is a comfort character. Applejack up there is a comfort character. Luna is probably the biggest comfort character to me because when you first encounter Luna, she doesn't know how to communicate as such.
Yeah.
She's but you see her development and you see her develop as a character, and it's the same with Sunset Shimmer. You just see the character development. But I've got so many headcanons about how our different characters are autistic, and it includes most of the main 6.
Yeah.
Any character you see either in cartoon or like who isn't a cartoon, like just a normal person just playing a character who seems a bit different or odd or quirky, like that she's me, he's me.
Yeah,
He's
I can relate.
autistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it makes
I mean, I
sense
can
why
relate.
I always liked the Pink Panther and Inspector Gadget, but now it makes sense.
Yeah.
I like
Well, the
them.
thing is, I can relate to Dash the most because we're both fairly noisy when we get to know people. We both don't know what the meaning of slow down. You know, everything has to be done at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I can rabbit on like she can for days.
What
So,
do you
you know,
mean
Rabbit?
What do you mean by rabbit? Because it might mean a different thing.
when we say it's a northern dialect thing. It's more northwest than northeast. When we say
rabbit
say,
means
oh,
when you talk a lot.
when you
Oh,
yeah, exactly, yeah. When
Yeah.
so such and such is rabbiting on, like, you know, it's a case of they're just nattering on constantly. It's just let's cool it down, boys.
I don't know if any of you guys have seen Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Yes.
Mabel. I always thought Mabel could possibly like,
Mabel,
she was a
no,
little bit-
Mabel and Dipper together, both of them.
Yeah, something
I've-
Dippers
both
as
of them.
well. Yeah.
And Stan's brother with the 6.
Yeah,
Oh, what's
Ford.
his name?
He's Ford, isn't
Ford,
it?
yes.
Stanford, yeah.
Yeah, Ford, of course.
I'm
He's
trying to
just-
think of some
He's
others.
got all the hallmarks of it, all the hallmarks.
I don't know if any of you know Chloe Hayden. She's like a popular autism advocate. She spoke
Yeah, follow
about-
her.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah, she spoke about Vanellope von Schweetz. I saw a video about Vanellope, why she thought she was autism coded. And it kind of makes sense, to be honest, about our glitches. That could be like a portrayal of meltdowns sort of thing.
Most of the characters that we all like, I'm starting to see a pattern emerging here. You can sort of begin to flesh out the ideas. And it's where I got the idea for Youngin here, for
Yeah.
mine, because he's not a canon character. He is me,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
in Pegasus
that.
form.
That's cute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and for the G5 series, definitely Zip's definitely autistic as well, 100%. She's a science nerd. She's really knowledgeable, but at the same time, she's
What-
quiet and reserved, and that's also me.
What do you
No,
guys think about Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
not a-
her.
I'm not
Emmy,
too much of a fan of the Harry Potter series, but yes,
Emmy,
definitely.
you designed her, didn't you? Like
Yes,
Harry Potter.
I did a drawing of her. Another character I love from Harry Potter, who's also another character who I like in Harry Potter, who I can definitely relate to most is Remus Lupin.
Yay.
Yes.
He's a werewolf, and there's a good example on masking, like how autistic people will tend to mask a lot because they're afraid to reveal themselves. Well, in the Wizarding World by J.K. Rowling, according to her, werewolves have been prejudiced because of who they are. They're known for being super dangerous, and they're monsters, and they'll attack you or kill you at the stroke of a full moon. And Remus Lupin's like that. He's a very kind character, and he's a good example of what a teacher should be, but he has this dark secret he's been carried. He's been a werewolf since he was a little boy, and he's afraid to reveal it. He doesn't want to, he's not comfortable
Yeah, it's
talking
like-
about it.
Is
It's
that
like
a
in
Harry
the-
Potter poster behind you? Harry
Yes.
Potter.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun
So-
fact. Can I give you guys fun facts? And
Yes.
I told you this, Mason. I think it was right after we record the
Oh, yeah, I
entire
remember.
podcast. It's not made out of entire paper. It's actually made out of entire puzzles.
Oh
Is Harry
wow!
Potter-
Nice.
I'm not
Is that a-
kidding. It's puzzles.
Is that a special interest for you, Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I besides drawing and anime, I find Harry Potter is the most comforting since I grew up watching the movies. I started read the books when I was just 22. I had books 3 and 5 because they're all my time. Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite of all time.
I like Prisoner of Azkaban.
I
That's my
love
favorite.
it. I
Yeah.
was like almost 10 years old. Well, it's around 9.5. My birthday's in November, so you can tell. Yeah, there's a major difference on age. So yeah, 2004 was the year I turned 10. 2004 had really good movies during my time as a kid.
Yeah, they did. They were the best. Not anymore though. Not anymore.
Yes, like Prisoner of Azkaban, Lemony Snicket's series on
Lemony
Unfortunate Events
Snicket, that's a name
with
I've
Jim
not heard in a
Carrey.
while.
Jim Carrey. Oh my goodness. He made
Jim
me
Carrey,
laugh.
classic.
Yes, he made me laugh so hard. He's
The Jim
funny.
Carrey movie I keep gravitating to, and I'll be totally honest on this one, is The Mask from
Yep,
94.
that's it.
Yes,
That's the only one I can
and
remember him from.
He was in he was in Christmas Carol, the Disney's Christmas Carol.
Yes, he
as
was.
Scrooge.
He was
And
in
he
Sonic
did-
as well.
No, that was Michael Caine.
He
That was
played
Michael Caine.
Oh, I was talking about the CGI one.
Oh,
Yeah.
the CGI one.
The
No, I
Disney.
thought you meant the live
And-
action one with the Muppets.
No, Gary Oldman, who plays Sirius Black, was in that movie. He played Bob
Yeah.
Cratchit and Jacob Marley, which I remember when I saw the Marley's Ghost in that movie with Gary Oldman, which he was so brilliant. He scared me to death. I don't know what.
I remember watching a Harry Potter movie. I'm not a massive fan of it, but at the same time, I respect it greatly because it's a fantastic series
Absolutely.
of books.
Yes.
It's the movie scared me half to death, and I didn't watch it
Yeah.
out thereafter.
Yeah, they were pretty scary.
But
Yeah, I
at the
tell you-
same time, they were so
Yes.
cool.
Could I tell
I mean,
you
who
which
doesn't want to
scene?
ride on broomsticks?
Exactly. Who doesn't want to
Who
play
doesn't
Quidditch?
want that?
Who
That's
doesn't
so
want to play
cool.
Quidditch? Who
But-
wants to be a seeker like Harry, or who wants to be the chaser? I think, no,
You'd have
I was
to
thinking about
explain.
Fred and George being chasers. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, wait,
You'd
Fred
have
and
to-
George, they're beaters. That's
Yeah,
right.
you'd have to explain the rules of Quidditch to me
Yeah.
later, but I
Mhm.
have a rough guess of what it's. You're after that little
Yeah,
golden
yeah.
snitch, aren't you?
Mhm.
after
Yeah, the
that.
golden snitch.
No, if we're going down sci-fi stuff that I like, I'm gonna do it. Mason, prepare yourself. I am gonna mention Doctor Who,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say
Actually, I have a
Doctor, in my
friend at
opinion.
college. He's also autistic. He's a really big fan of Doctor Who.
the best
Got
Doctor.
a big
in my
TARDIS in the
opinion,
background.
and I will be
Yeah.
deadly honest here. Best
We're just
Doctor in my
info
opinion.
dumping about special interests here. It's great.
Yeah, I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Best Doctor is Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I agree. I hope you were
Christopher
going to say
Eccleston.
that. I agree.
Not just because he's from Manchester and I'm a Manc. No, not just because of that, but because he's got that sort of sarcasm, wit,
Yeah.
and grit.
Yeah.
The scene I'm thinking of is that the lone wolf scene. He's talking to the Daleks, and it means no. And like, what is the meaning of this negative? And like, it means no, because this is what I'm gonna do.
Very
I'm
straightforward.
gonna find her. I'm gonna
No
save
other
Wolfsbane
doctor
from the
has
middle
been
of
that
Dalek
aggressive
fleet.
to a Dalek.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
that.
and then he goes on this massive rant. I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna save Rose Tyler from the middle of the Dalek fleet, and then I'm gonna save the Earth. And then just to finish off, I'm gonna wipe every last stinking Dalek out of the sky.
Oh, that's iconic.
Yes.
I love that quote, and I also have there's this. Yeah, I have it on my phone. I have the alert. We are detected from the Daleks, and I use that as my ringtone because I am basically detected.
Yeah, you are. You've been found by a message.
Yeah.
It's funny as heck. I love it.
I like the scene he uses that he says lots of planets have a north when it
Yeah.
and he's a doctor. Of course, he doesn't know he's north. He's from the north, but I like that bit, and he's got to be the best one because
he's honest. I think he was the best one. I think he was just like such a unique take on the Doctor, especially compared to everything that came afterwards. Like,
having said that, though, I I will say though, second best is David Tennant. You've
Yeah.
got to. Have you seen David Tennant in Staged with
He's
Michael
been-
Sheen?
He's awesome in every program.
Yeah, it's funny. It's made
He
all
was
it is.
he was in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. He's Barty
Yeah.
Crouch Jr.
Yeah,
And he was in that TV show
Jessica Jones.
Around the World
Scrooge
in 80
McDuck.
Days.
He was Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
in,
he was Scrooge McDuck. He's
he was
actually
also-
Scottish.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
cool.
Yeah, he's Scottish. He holds it really well on
Oh,
Doctor
that's
Who.
right.
He just hides it really well.
Yeah, like I didn't know that till years afterwards. He was the Doctor in Doctor Who.
I've got one bit of advice.
so shocked.
Run.
Yeah.
I
He
love
was
that
also
quote
in
as
that,
well.
he was also in that TV show my mom and I watched on PBS called Around the World in 80 Days. He was Phineas Fogg.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was at Christmas time, I think, or something.
I thought he was really good. I thought he was really good as that character.
Yeah.
Just,
He was in Broadchurch as well.
what else was he in?
I've seen that.
Jessica Jones. He was in Jessica Jones as
Oh, he was really good at. He's good as a villain.
yeah.
He's fantastic. He's just fantastic actor.
Yeah.
How you go from being creepy Barty Crouch Jr. in Goblet of Fire to the enthusiastic traveler as Phineas Fogg in Around the World 80 Days.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Just hop in the TARDIS and fly away.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think for me, like that's going to be always my one special interest. I don't care who doesn't like Doctor Who. I'll just go on about it to anyone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We don't really care whether people are interested or not. We're gonna info dump about it anyway.
Exactly. It comforts you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is because it's a known quantity. That's the best bit of it. It's a known quantity, and it's like I do it on Discord all the time. Like I'm in a server with a load of friends. We're all this lot, so we all have our own characters and stuff.
Here, William. I thought I'd bring in. You recognize this little guy?
Oh my god.
Oh yes,
It's Doug.
Yeah. So I had to think for a second. Then I know who it is.
It's
But I
Doug from Up.
Yeah, of course. But the thing I like about this is these are also comfort objects. You can take them anywhere. They're portable.
Yeah. I've got a bit of a story on that. When I was very young, one of my favorite Disney films is Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. My brother and I used to have the toys growing up in our bedroom. We have the Disney toys one, and then the classic A.A. Milne toys, like how you see the book illustrations in the books. And I used to carry a Piglet, not the Disney Piglet. I think I used to have the Disney Piglet toy, but the only kind of Piglet I know I had was the A.A. Milne classic A.A. Milne Piglet toy.
The proper OG goodness.
Yeah.
I saw a conspiracy. I saw a conspiracy about Winnie the Pooh. Apparently, all the characters have disabilities or mental illnesses. Something.
I've seen the same one. I've
I've heard of that. I did actually hear about that.
I didn't know about that.
It does seems really plausible actually. Based on how the characters interact with each other in the movie, it does seem very plausible.
Yeah.
I think Tigger is supposed to have ADHD.
Tigger is definitely ADHD.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Piglet has anxiety.
Yeah, he could be like he has some insecurity moments. But anyway, so this Piglet toy I used to carry with me to school, but I couldn't let him sit up with me on the desk so I can pay attention to the class. My teacher will let him sit next to the window until I'm ready to go home, but I just can't forget to bring him home. It was like my comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I tend to take, if I go out on a massive adventure, anyone within my room, because I've got a whole pile over my left shoulder that you can't see, well, you can just about see. I'll just take one in the bag and that one in my backpack, and that's it. Because I'm mainly carting camera gear around and stuff. Because photography hobby and stuff like that, but it's mainly railway photography. But the whole thing is, I tend to. It's just a known quantity. If you're going somewhere new, it's someone to explore with, because you've got that sort of. It's almost like a protection against a meltdown.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the same when I go to a convention. I've got a convention coming up in 2 weeks actually, where I'm doing a panel. I'm actually doing a panel on I've called it Con 101 Neurodivergent Edition.
Oh,
That's
And
cool.
That's awesome.
well, you know, it's a case of, if you see my Instagram, you know that I have a certain someone who's a little bit taller than me and black and white with big blue eyes and cute as a button, and they're going to be with me in the panel.
Another good comfort zone I recommend for mostly in the autism community. I have this little guy here. It does look like a
squishies.
horse.
Yeah.
It's basically a brush. It's like a horse brush. I've had something like that when I was young. I used to have a helper aide as a little kid until the end of my sophomore year in high school. And whenever I get frustrated, she would take my arm and just brush the little brush around my hands and arms until I'm finally
just
calm.
to like to cool you down.
Yeah.
Almost,
Well,
in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, I say cool down, but it's like to calm you.
Yeah.
It's like a pressure thing.
Mm-hmm. Even it just calms your nerves. I'll use it once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't have bad anxiety, but I mean the older
It just
you
helps.
get,
It's something you're used to and you know about it.
Yeah, the
And it's
older
like,
you get, it feels like but
it's,
yeah,
it's
this
a
is
nice
like,
it's a calming sensation.
yes, it's gentle. It's very
Yeah.
soothing.
I mean, I'll be honest. My one of my special interests is literally horse.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was watching
I just grabbed Poppy then just completely because I thought, you know, we're talking horse, so I thought grab a horse, and especially a Build-A-Bear one, because that's like one of my special interests as well.
I mean, I've never done Build-A-Bear. I really want to do it.
I got the 13th Doctor Build-A-Bear and the 10th Doctor Build-A-Bear.
I want the 10th Doctor one.
Yeah.
I need to get the 10th Doctor one.
I got the Pudsey 10th Doctor as well.
Nice.
That was a limited edition. I had to wait nearly a year to get it.
Speaking of like limited edition ones, this one's a US only one. This is like a US exclusive that I bought from a friend, and I'm so glad I did because they're rare as hen's teeth over here.
I have a lot of
cute
from when I was younger.
Yeah, I just love compared to my color palette of normally very subdued blues and blacks and grays and all that. I actually have quite a surprising amount of bright, colorful stuff. And I've noticed my color palette is slowly swinging around to the more pastel colors of stuff, and it's a big thing because I also post a lot of what I post on my autism Instagram is not advocacy as such. It's more me just being me, and that's really what it should be about. Okay, you jam some information in there, but at the end of the day, just you being you. I mean, if you look on there, you'll see who I mean when I say bit black and white and big blue eyes. But you'll also see all other stuff like I'm an organist, for instance.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've played countless instruments. I've got, you know, a photograph of a cinema organ on there. I work, you know, there's all sorts of, and you've got the story of me being a biker and how I passed my test. I'm not ashamed to admit I didn't pass my module 2 the first go. It took me 3 goes at it, but I passed. And it just shows you that with the right guidance, the right support, and the right training, autistic people can do the same thing as neurotypicals.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
Ride a motorcycle.
I think there's like a bit of a stigma around when people, you know, from some more mainstream, you know, there's a bit of a stigma around people needing support. And I sort of think, well, neurotypical people need a lot of support to fulfill, you know, stereotypical life milestones or achievements. It's just nobody notices that support because it's just inbuilt into society anyway. So it's like you've got all this support, you know, you've got like all your social stuff that's going on, all this sensory chaos that's going on, all of this like is set up for you already. So there's a reason that autistic, for example, people often need extra or different support because it's not already there. Everybody needs support to do stuff. It's just neurotypical people tend to have that already automatically because it's just, you know, normal.
They don't have to ask for it, but we have to ask for it, and that's completely wrong.
I think as well, it's important to remember that autistic people don't learn the same way everybody else does. Like we're obviously not going to learn the same way everybody else does because our brains are wired different. I think
it's the way you learn. I personally learn by doing stuff.
I'm a visual learner. I learn better visually.
I mean, people say I have a photographic memory because I can remember stuff. Actually, it was a Metrolink lookout shift. Another story from the railways. We had to stash a hammer, a big keying hammer, at one of the stanchions at Stretford Metrolink stop. And someone said to me, "Oh, just remember where this is." And I remembered the stanchion number. So when we went back later, I went to go and fetch it, and I remembered the stanchion number, which was MA 317, and it was that stanchion I knew to go to get the hammer, and it keeps me. It keeps you on your phone. Keeps you on your toes, as it were.
Yeah, I think sometimes we are on our phone, aren't we?
Yeah.
And too much.
All the
A
time.
little too much, yeah.
I think
But then
sometimes
again-
being on your phone is like a nice little escape from reality. Just block everything out.
Because you can talk. Because you may have friends who are within the vicinity. I know I have at least one friend. You may know Vicky.
Yeah.
Actually, Aspling.
Yeah,
You may
yeah.
know her. Most people will probably know her. But me and her are pretty close as friends, and I'm so glad we are, because she's the first sort of neurodivergent friend that I actually had. And I tell you something, I don't know where I'd be without her. I'm deadly honest on that one.
I find I feel a lot more comfortable when I have friends that are neurodivergent or are autistic. I feel a lot more confident around those.
You know what? It's you know that you've got the same. You're both similar, and you can just chat about whatever, and you won't get judgment.
And you
Whereas
can
you've got a sort of filter.
Yeah, and you can unmask in front of them, and if you say something that's rude, they're not going to judge because they know you don't actually mean it.
They're not going to take it the wrong way.
Well, they'll just ask. They'll just literally say, "Oh, what did you mean by that?" And that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems that you're not meant to do that for some reason.
Because NT folk tend to bury sarcasm and stuff behind so much.
Yeah, whereas when I'm around my autistic friends and ADHD friends,
we do sarcasm, but we do it obviously.
Ask. Yeah, and it's like,
I've often
don't get something, we'll just say,
just
what did you mean? And then we'll just tell them that's it,
I'll be honest.
I have been told. Okay, sorry. I have been told, for someone who doesn't always understand sarcasm, that I'm a very sarcastic person.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think the thing for me is I can be sarcastic, but it has to be obvious sarcasm. It can't be buried or behind a lot of hocus pocus. I've often said about this end that I'm as subtle as a house brick. House brick to the face. I am. I'm not subtle at all, but I can do subtlety if I need to. It just depends on if I'm geared up for it.
Sarcasm. I never got it when I was younger. I've kind of learned I've kind of like some sarcasm I'll get, sometimes I won't get sarcasm at all. It kind of just depends. Like you have those sayings, those slangs.
Yeah.
As well.
It honestly just depends whether my social cues are on or off that day. Because to me, it's like
you have. I get that. You have on days and you have off days, and the off days are some of the hardest.
It can be very tricky, can it?
I would like to think I'm a lot better with sarcasm and jokes now that I'm older, but there are certain times where it just kind of depends whether if I'm in burnout or.
Some days you'll get it. Some days it goes straight over your head.
I often think people are joking when they're not. I often find I laugh at things because I genuinely find a lot of stuff funny. But and I'll be in a conversation, someone say something, and I'm like, oh, they must be joking, and they're not. But then I often, because I also take things at face value a lot.
That's because
verbally. So it's all a big mixture.
We're very black and white in the way that we think, though. We're very serious, and that's sometimes why humor just kind of goes over our heads.
I often compare, if any of you know the show Red Dwarf, I often compare myself to something of a cross between Rimmer, played by Chris Barry, and Crichton, played by Robert Llewellyn. And if it's the one scene I can always think of is the show that they're trying to teach Crichton to lie. They're trying to teach him sarcasm. They're trying to break his sort of hard wiring. And Lister goes to him, "What's this? What's this?" And Crichton's like, "It's a banana." And he's like, no. And they get, and eventually they get it. And and when Crichton gets it, he gets so excited because Lister goes to him about the banana. He goes, "What's this?" And he goes, and Crichton's going, and he's trying, and then and all of a sudden it unlocks, and he goes, a small off-duty checker as a fucking traffic warden, and it's so funny. I'll have to find you the clip, but it's classic comedy.
I thought I was the only person that sucked at picking up on sarcasm. I really thought I was the only one. I didn't know it was a thing amongst the people in here as well too. I suck at sarcasm. I mean, I know how to be sarcastic, but when people are being sarcastic around me, I don't really pick it up as quick. I don't really pick up on it as quickly, you know. And then somebody has to point it out to me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's not just when people talk. It's also like when stuff is being said online too. Like I literally have to look into it and be like, yo, what the hell is this? And when I react, by the time I react, I look and see that it's either a satirical account or somebody points out like, hey, you know, he's actually like, this person's being sarcastic. It's not really real. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like embarrassed afterwards. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I had a hard time in school. Like I couldn't always tell whether people were joking or like making fun of me.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Same. It's hard, isn't it? Like it's hard to tell if someone's being sarcastic or being serious or having a joke or if they're not.
Yeah.
I find the nuances in the face very difficult because I see tears is either laughing or crying, and then you have the smile. Well, that's always good, but what everything in between.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bit confusing.
I always laugh it away. I know once my boss told me with a very serious face, Laura, I have to ask you something. And I was on the phone with a customer and I was like, ting, 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 ting. My heart was pouncing and I was like, oh, what the hell, what did I do wrong? And after 10 minutes, I just hang up with the client and she came to me and she said, can you go do an early break? And I just exploded because I said, why are you looking like that? That's a stupid question.
Yeah, right.
Then I explained my ADHD autism and then it was all okay. But it was like, just do like this or this and nothing in between because otherwise I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've often been asked while I was at work, oh, do you want to do first or second break? And I always go second break because whenever they ask, we're normally in the rhythm of working. We're in the middle of a relay or putting sleepers in or just starting to clip up rail. And I always say, no, I'll go second break because I find it's easy. It's less intrusive when I'm working. It's like I was doing a drainage shifting crew recently, and break time comes around and says, right, boys, who wants to go first? Who wants to go second? I always say I'll go second because I'm in that rhythm of I'm hard at work. I want to keep going.
Yeah, I understand that.
But it's also that fear of missing out on some of the action.
Yeah,
like you'll miss out on a go with the rail saw, taking a slice with that, which is scary, by the way. That thing kicks, you know all about it. But again, it's a case of I might miss out on something really cool. I might miss out on some extra knowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I like learning. But if you know what I mean, it's one of those, it's like, should I or should I not? Should I, should not? You deliberate a bit and then you go, right, I'm not going first break, I'll go second break. Plus you get a lot plus the second break means you get a break closer to when you're going home. So it's actually you get an easier.
I always have my breaks as late as I can. Yeah, because then when you come back, it's like, oh, I haven't got as long.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going before we go because I
my
think,
word, is it?
Yeah, because we've
Jeez,
been on here a while, I think. I just want to say a couple more things, and then what I'm going to do, you all could have a chance to speak at the end, as well, like a goodbye message or anything else. But I wanted to talk a bit, just mention about the jigsaw thing again, because I think I completely agree, like with the jigsaw thing. But with my logo, I've done it pretty cool because of course people know it's Crohn's disease and autism, a podcast. So what I've done with the logo, which was created 2 years ago, with the ribbon, purple ribbon signifies Crohn's, and what I've done, tinily, really smallly, are jigsaw pieces, but they're all together because there's a thing about autism being a part. That's why I put them together, because
we're complete.
Yeah, because we're complete. So it's all attached, not detached. So yeah, I didn't know if anyone has seen the. Well, you might probably have seen the logo.
I picked up on it. I was going to say something, but I thought I'd keep it quiet.
Yeah, because it is like, it's not entirely visible, but if you look really closely, you will see it. But there we go. Well, you saw it. But yeah, what I'm going to do is, it's like at the beginning, I'm going to say each of your names again, and then just say a little message at the end, and then I'll speak at the end, and then that'll be done. So Ellie K, if you can start us off.
Thank you for having me back on to your podcast. I loved being here actually with a really big group of people, but probably because we're all autistic, it was all right. I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be a lot of people. Yeah, I think there should be definitely more of this, like autistic people talking about these issues instead of people talking about us, and more autistic people working with autistic people and so on. So yeah, I'm going to keep listening to your podcast, and hopefully maybe we can all reunite again as well.
Definitely, I think this won't be the last of us.
No, we'll be
definitely
back.
not. Definitely not. We're all going to be back again. Well, thanks, Ellie. It's been great, and I'll speak to you again.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Hi. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, Mason, and also that I've really enjoyed discussing all things autism, to spread awareness, but most importantly acceptance. And I think that's what we want to take away, isn't it? It's the acceptance and the people who are autistic driving that.
Yeah, I completely agree, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. You've been great. Well, Will, you're next. Just say a few final words.
Yeah, good grief, where do I start? Yeah, a good thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure to have a good chat with you. It's fun as well.
Yeah.
I know we chat off the podcast as well, but it's always great to be on the podcast. It's been a grand thing to do, and long may it continue. More acceptance, more knowledge, and yeah,
more autistic people.
Exactly, yeah. The more the better. And I wouldn't, as much as I want to do a blatant plug for my Instagram, I also don't, because I'm not that sort of person. But if you could please follow me, because I'm I just check now. I am a couple shy of 700. I'm 2 shy of 700 followers. Please,
wow.
I want to get that goal by my birthday, which is actually in May.
In May.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're all going to follow each other.
Yeah,
definitely.
I can see that happening. But yeah, it's been an honour, Mason. Thank you for having me back, and long may these podcasts continue. And I'm more than happy to come back anytime you want me to.
Definitely, because we got some.
When I'm not working.
Yeah, of course, when you're not working, because like in
the joys of shift work, eh?
Yeah. Well, it won't be the last of it.
Nope.
Well, thanks, Will. It's been great. Laura.
Well, also thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet all of you here. And for anybody who is gonna listen, I just have one tip. Maybe it's a nice thing if you just come across some people you like, just do the same as this, make a group and just chat with each other online, so you can discuss things, because it's so helpful if you discuss your struggles and you find your solutions, and well, find your peers, because I think that's the most healing thing ever.
Yeah, I completely agree, Laura, and it's been great to have you back as well, because yeah, I think it's great. Like I said at the beginning, everyone's here, some from the UK, other countries as well, and I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Emmy.
Yeah, so thanks for the invite, Mason. It was great seeing you again and joining this amazing panel. It was a lot of fun. And it's just like, I agree what Sarah said. We need to bring more acceptance. And of course, we we need more acceptance in the community. I mean, we're all human beings, and yeah.
I completely agree with you. Like, we do need more acceptance. It should be called Acceptance Month, not Awareness Month, because
Yeah.
like people pointed out like during the podcast that we can do awareness with anything. But yeah. So thank you, Emmy, and it's been really nice talking to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evangelyn.
Hi. First I want to say thank you so much, Mason, for having me on our initial podcast. That was the first podcast that I've ever done, and I'm very proud that it was with you. And this is my second podcast ever. And I'm so glad that I got to meet all of you, and I got to hang out with you these past 2 hours. It's really nice to find an autistic community and to be able to talk about what makes us the same and what makes us different, because I didn't really have that in high school because I didn't really know that I was, and in college I didn't really know that much autistic people either. So I'm really glad to have this community now. And some advice that I would give is to not be ashamed of who you are, because there's nothing to be ashamed of, and you should do whatever makes you happy. If you're interested in Filipino culture, books, fashion, poetry, or Roger Kefley, I'm Evangelyn Rachel on Instagram. EVANGELYN Rachel on Instagram.
Thank you for coming back. And I know it was only yesterday we spoke, so but yeah, but like we've got other episodes, like we'll be doing more episodes together anyway. So thank you, and I'm glad that my podcast was your first. Thank you. Ellie S.
Hi, thank you for having me again, Mason. It's been really good chatting to you all. Having people, talk about autism from all over the world is great, and the fact that it's coming from actually autistic people as well. Having us talk about autism instead of having neurotypical people speak over us. It's been great, and it's nice to talk to people who sort of understand like where you're coming from, and knowing that you're not the only one. There's other people out there who's exactly the same as you. It's great. Yeah,
well, thank you. I'm sure we won't be the last time I see you. We'll do more together, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Ellie. Folashade, if you're still there.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Mason. It's been an amazing conversation, although I didn't get to speak so much, but I enjoyed listening to the conversation. And, it just got me thinking that it is good to have more of this, where autistic people talk about themselves and share their interests and, get to see how common or how different or the similarities that everyone shares. And I think that's one way to eventually move past, go from awareness to acceptance, when the voices of the people concerned themselves are the ones that are heard, not somebody who's read it from the books, so when it is from the people who live it themselves, I think that's where we would then get to acceptance. So we should have more of this and, push the things, conversations like this out there more, so that people get to hear it more and really understand, and also to change, the narrative that's out there that autistic people are only in one way, so that they get to also see the diversity that is in the, autism spectrum. So thanks for having me, and it's been an amazing time with everyone. I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Yeah, we definitely will. We won't be the last. Like I said, we're all going to be doing this again, for sure. And it's been great to have you as well. So thank you for joining. Dr. Vibesman, if you're there.
Hey, so yes. Okay, sorry about that. I'm busy with my aunt right now. I just want to say thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having me on the show again. I don't know what happened, but I got booted out of the Zoom meeting because I had to answer a call, but I'm back. briefly, I see that everything's coming to a close, so I just want to say shout out to everybody in here, big everyone up, big up on myself. It's a pleasure to be on the show. I didn't really get speak as much as I should have, but you know, it felt good to give my input and my take on everything. I just want to say that having autism is not a nightmare scenario. It's not the be all end all. For everyone, for those that are parents to children with autism, your children are going to grow on to do amazing things. You have people that are actors, actresses, and musicians that have autism, and you know, and we lead pretty normal lives. We navigate the world differently from everyone else, and it's okay, and it's totally okay to be different. And for everybody that doesn't feel like they're normal, they're like a normal human being. Guess what? You are a normal human being. You can walk, talk. You know, we eat we eat food. Although we don't eat the same foods all the time, we do eat. We do take interest in certain things like comics, storylines. I love the Harry. I actually have some of the Harry Potter books myself and everything. But yeah, we lead regular lives, and our lives are very much interesting. We're just as interesting as everybody else in existence out here. So you know, tell people that don't understand autism to actually learn about it so they can understand and tap in. We're totally cool to be around. We're a joy to be around, and you guys are a joy to be around as well and to interact with. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vibesman. And I thank you for saying that, because I think it's great. It's been great to have you back. It's been great to have everyone back for this grand finale. But yeah, I agree. It should be acceptance more than awareness. But yeah, we're going to be doing this again. But thank you to everyone who's here today, and thank you to everyone listening and watching, whether you're on the world, whatever time it is, if it's the morning, the afternoon, nighttime. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as we have. So thank you, everyone. And we'll definitely be doing this again.
No doubt. If you guys want to learn how to break, like breaking, or break dance, as many people know it, what we call it breaking. You can definitely go to my YouTube channel, Jamrock.tv. I have tutorials on it. Yeah. 2 basic tutorials. You'll love it. Well, actually 3, but you'll love it. All right, cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dr. Vibesman. I'm sure everyone's going to be following each other. Everyone's going to be reaching out to each other now. I'm sure of that. But yeah, thank you, everyone. And yeah, we're all going to stay in touch. We're not going anywhere. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell for now.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Peace.
See ya.